Morning, guys. Christina. And I have a question for you this morning. I was wondering, is there ever a point in your day when you really don't have any distractions or anything else going on, and you find yourself kind of in that moment where your head fills up with thoughts that maybe cause you to have a little bit of butterflies in your stomach or be anxious? I guess, for some people, that's at night before they go to bed. Might cause them to have a hard time sleeping. And for some people, it's in the morning. So, like when they wake up, their mind is just immediately churning through thoughts. I mean, for me, that's how it comes. It comes in the morning, and it's I think a lot of us think about the day before and maybe mistakes that we made or things that we didn't like about the day before, or we're sitting there worrying about the future and what's going to happen in the future. And, I think what brings me a little bit of comfort in those moments is just realizing that any mistakes I made yesterday, well, maybe those were small miracles in disguise. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. And so what did I learn from what happened? Where was I coming from when that mistake happened? Was I coming from a place of ego, or was I coming from a place of fear? And then, with regards to the future, I just take a deep breath and I'm like, I can only do what I can do today, right? Just kind of lets the pressure off of me. So I don't know. That doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm going to talk about this morning, but I just wanted to say that because it was on my mind. Back to the kind of idea about consciousness, just to kind of go around to that again a little bit today. Just to oversimplify it a little bit, it's like when we think of consciousness, we think conscious or unconscious. Somebody got knocked out or they're not awake. And yeah, I mean, basically that's it. And there's a lot of things that take us to that point, things that happen to us in our lives can really knock us out, and cause us to be unconscious. But sometimes it's a choice. I feel like there are hurts and things that happen to us in life that we make decisions to become unconscious and not deal with it. So it becomes like a defense mechanism. And so segueing off of that, what does it mean to become aware again and to become conscious again and to become open again? And that's really, the thing I think we're always striving to is getting back to that center, that place where we can open up again, where we can collapse all the prior hurts and traumas in our life, like Michael Rice talks about, and make a place for love to fill back up again. And so that openness is what I'm striving for anyway. And so, there's some really good books out there for men and women. One of the authors is David Dita. So this is David Dita. I'm sure this is going to be mirrored backwards, but this book was written for women. It's called Dear Lover. And it really just talks about how women close themselves off in life. The thing is, the perspective is written from a male lover to the woman in the book, and he writes these letters to her to tell her how he wants to help her become open to herself, open to God, open to him. And so it's a really beautiful book about opening in your relationships, which I think is really important. I think a lot of times, especially women, we're also centered about our own selves and our own wants and needs that we forget. The men in our lives, they have wants and needs too. And that's, a really big thing to recognize. So I want to say this to women really quickly. If there is a man in your life that's remarkable today, will you just do me a favor and just go to him and tell him that you're really grateful for him and what he means to you, and to say thank you. Nothing more than that, just to let him know that you recognize that he's remarkable. I know that they would really appreciate that. And for the guys, David Dita has a book called The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. So both of these books are a little racy. Don't want to read them in the back of the Uber driver's car or at the airport or, sitting next to somebody at work. But they're really good books, and they're really written very eloquently and genuinely by David Dita about being open in relationships for men and women. So I hope you guys will check those out. I'll put links to David Dita's website on my blog post. So please read the blog post. They are different than what you're watching here today. And I guess I just want to finish up about openness and say this, that the struggle to stay open and be open your whole life is always there. It's always something that's going to come up where you're going to want to shut down, and something that's going to happen where, it's going to hurt you in such a way that you kind of really, like, your body goes into shock and you have to become unconscious for a little bit. I know those things are going to happen to us. And, when they do, again, that's when it's really just so important to just kind of pause and be where you're at in that moment. Because I do believe strongly that's where you're supposed to be, even if it's uncomfortable. I do believe there's a purpose for you being there, and that it's somewhere you're supposed to be. So just take that moment and be there in that place that you're supposed to be, and just try to figure it out. I mean, there's no pressure. You don't have to go quickly into the next day. You don't have to accomplish something or be superhuman mom or, super dad, or, that's great if you are, but you don't have to be. It's okay to just say, I need to go gently for a little bit. And I want that to be probably the key focus of all of these videos every single time. It's just to remind you that as you go throughout your day today, it's okay. Pause, be gentle to yourself and others. Okay? Thanks.